The Johnsky is a YouTube channel run by and run for people over the age of 13. People under the age of 13 should click off of this video right now, or watch with a parent or guardian. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's this freaking today, Militiaman? My name is King Prime, and welcome back to another video here on the YouTube channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at another Power Rangers The Lightning Collection Remastered action figure, that being the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Remastered Pink Ranger. Yes, we have every millennial's first crush here in figure form to take a look at today. But before we do that, let's take a look at what she comes in. Starting off on the front here, of course, we do have that nice rainbow-fied image of the Pink Ranger going all the way down the front of the box, almost as if she's teleporting. Up at the top, we have that big Power Rangers Lightning Collection Remastered logo, as well as a photo of Kim, all morphed up and ready to fight some monsters. Down at the bottom, it says Mighty Morphin Pink Ranger, because, you know, that's what she is. Hasbro logo and plastic-free packaging. On the top of the box, we do have the Lightning Collection trays again, as well as the 30th anniversary logo. As I've said, I'm a year late to review these, sue me. On the side, we have the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers logo, as well as Mighty Morphin Pink Ranger, which, you know, that's what she is. And on the side here, we have that image of the Pink Ranger morphing with her helmet on. On the other side, we have that same image of the team, black, blue, green, yellow, red, and pink, all together for the 30th anniversary. On the back, we do have that same image of the Pink Ranger as on the side, as well as the 30th anniversary logo up the top, and the images of what this figure comes with. At the bottom, we have Kimberly Hart, and for whatever reason, we have green no more here, because I don't know why that this wasn't on either of the previous two packaging, but I guess we have episode names here in the on this packaging specifically. Mighty Morphin Pink Ranger, legal jargon, and that is about it. I say it in every single video, my friends, but you only really care about the packaging if you're a boxed or carded collector, which I am not. I'm here to open and review toys, and that is just what I'm going to do. Freeze frame.
Do not talk to a girl.
Freeze frame unfreeze, and here is Kim out of the packaging. But before we take a look at her, let's take a look at what she comes with. Of course, and first and foremost, we do have the largest accessories to come with this figure, that being the morphing effects piece. Of course, these are just like, you know, Dragon Ball-ish lightning and energy swirls that were, you know, supposed to surround the Ranger as they are morphing, as, you know, we've seen now with Billy and Zach. You know, just some nice effects piece. Of course, they're soft plastic, they're hollow inside. We've seen them before, they're the exact same as the previous two, just in pink. Next up, we do, of course, have Kimberly's main weapon, of course, the power bow. This thing is fantastically detailed. It actually has, and I'll zoom in here so you can see, the details inlaid and painted over with red, which is very nice. Again, I'm not too sure on the specific details of the power bow. Here's a photo of the bow next to the actual bow, and that is what's wrong with it. Of course, Kimberly can hold the bow, and she can hold it in either hands, because either of her grabbing hands are actually sculpted to be archer's hands. Of course, they have sort of that center part, like that Vulcan salute that a lot of archers have with their weapons. So she can hold it with either hand. Give it to her in her left hand. Of course, all you need to do is stretch out the hands a little bit. Be careful, because they're more solid because of, obviously, arrow holding. And there you go. There's Kim holding the power bow. And also included is this arrow, which is, I think, the reason why the box was labeled green no more, because I think, if I'm remembering correctly, this arrow was used in that episode. But we've seen the arrow, at least an amalgamation of the energy blast that it consumes, in every single Zyuranger clip that we see in Mighty Morphin. Of course, Kim can hold this, and this is actually kind of impressive. All you need to do is take the tail end of the arrow and slide it in between either her forefingers or in between her middle and ring finger, and it'll stay in there. I'll put it back in between her index and middle fingers so that it just stays a little bit better. And of course, if you pose it correctly, you can have a proper arrow shooting pose like so. Very nice. Also, obviously, on the bottom of the power bow, you have 4 clips for eventually forming the power cannon, which is very nice to see. Once we're done with all the Ranger reviews, I'll bring this accessory back in and we will do that, but as of right now, we're just leaving it off to the side. Also included in the set are all 3 variants of the Blade Blaster. Of course, we have sheathed one, the sword one, and the pistol one, or the blaster one. Kimberly can obviously hold all of those. All you need to do is exactly what I've told you in the last 2 reviews. Insert and twist. Insert and twist. And there you go. There you have dual wielding action. Yippee. Additionally, the holstered version can go into her holster proper. And actually, because of the way the female holsters are sculpted, it actually fits a lot better in here than it does in the other 2 holsters. In Zach and Billy's holster, it didn't fit too well, but in this one it does. So I'm happy about that. Next up, we do have the Power Morpher, which as you can see, obviously has the pterodactyl coin in there, as well as a straight pink, it's almost red actually, a straight pink energy effect going in between the coin and the morpher. It's very nice to see, and of course, this can be held using the morphing hand, which as you can see has 3 fingers hooking in to the morpher. All you gotta do is insert it on there, and there you go. You have a morphing hand, which is complemented by the actual splayed out hand that will be used for the morphing sequence. Of course, you can remove Kimberly's grabbing hands and replace them with either of the morphing hands, like so, and like so. All you need to do is guide these in the proper direction, and eventually you can have a proper morphing pose, like this. It's not going to be exact because of the articulation, but if you fiddle with it enough, you can get a good enough approximation like that, which is very nice. And Kimberly does also come with 1 more pair of hands, a splayed out karate chop hand and a fist. Unfortunately, not 2 fists, which I'm kind of sad about, but honestly, this is good enough. Just plug those in like this and like this, and you can have those posed accordingly, like so. Very nice. The final accessory that is included in this set is, of course, the Pink Ranger's helmet, which looks fantastic and absolutely accurate to how it appeared in the show. I've seen a couple of these in real life through various events, and I can confirm this one is perfect. I don't think that it's missing anything as far as I can tell. I don't think that the Pink Ranger's helmet has a white outline around her visor. The eyes of the pterodactyl are picked out in green. Her faceplate is silver, as it should be. The back of the helmet is white, and the band is pink. So that is perfectly good to me. Of course, you can just take off Kimberly's head, like so, and pop the Ranger's helmet back on there. And you can see that that is pretty good, at least in my book. This is a perfectly fine approximation of the actual on-screen appearance, and I like it very much. But moving on to Kimberly herself, she is, an okay approximation of Amy Jo Johnson. She's definitely in there. I just think that, personally, looking directly onto the figure, I think from below her eyes to her chin is just a little bit long, and that's why it's just a little bit not there. From some angles, it's definitely her, but from some, definitely not. It's kind of got that Zach syndrome. It wasn't as good as the Billy head sculpt. This one's definitely good, and I think it's closer to Amy Jo than the Zach was to Walter E. Jones. But this one, it's kind of a miss. But anyway, it's a nice neutral expression. It looks good regardless. Pink hairband, as you can see, because of course the Pink Ranger has to wear everything pink. Yeah, you know how it goes. Moving down to the suit, however, it's, basically the same exact Mighty Morphin suit that we see with every single Mighty Morphin release. We got the 3 diamonds on the front, 2 diamonds on the back, diamonds going all the way around the gauntlets and all the way around the boots. We're used to it. She has the white trim on the skirt, which is nice, and the black lining on the belt and the holster. Very good. Getting up in close here, you can see the power coin on the morpher on her belt is obviously the pterodactyl. Very nice. Again, I say it in every single review. I wish there was a way we could have pulled out the morpher on her belt so that we didn't have 2 morphers if someone were to choose to display this figure while morphing like I want to. I'll probably have to cover this with black electrical tape just to avoid the anachronism. But other than those complaints, this figure is perfectly fine. As for the articulation, she does have a nice ball joint at the head, so you can get all of the articulation you need to. Unfortunately, because of the way her hair is sculpted, you can't really get a lot of uns out of her. It wants to uns, but it doesn't. It is, of course, on that nicely articulated 2-point ball joint, one inside of the neck, one on top of the head, of course. So it can move a lot. It's just, again, female sculpts are a lot like this. It does have a full range of motion at the shoulders. It can go all the way out like that and all the way around at the shoulder. She also has a fantastic butterfly joint that I was not expecting. Unfortunately, it can only really go back. It can go back that far, so she can put her arm really far behind her. But not so much when it comes to the forward. That's all you're getting out of that. Which is unfortunate, but it does allow for her to cross draw the bow across her body. If you were to display her shooting the bow, she can do that, which is pretty insightful. But if there was just a little bit more of a cut right here, you could have a forward-reaching butterfly as well, which would be really cool. She does, of course, have an upper bicep swivel and a double-jointed elbow bend, pinless in accordance with the new wave of figures. She does actually have a swivel at the gauntlet, which none of the other Rangers have had so far. Very nice to see that, as well as a wrist swivel and an up and down on either of her bow holding hands. Of course, on her morphing hands, they go up and down as well, but technically they go in and out because of the way the hands are meant to be posed. And on the other two hands, they are both in and out joints. She has a diaphragm joint so she can get her Ranger reps in like so, as well as a ab crunch so she can bend all the way back and all the way forward. Not as flexible as I'd think for a gymnast, but that's neither here nor there. She has nothing at the waist proper. However, she does have, and mind the angle here, ball jointed hips. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to get them to work because of the way the skirt is sculpted. Obviously, there's a relief cut here, and there's one on the other side as well, but because the holster is attached to the skirt, it gets really hard to get the skirt forward out of the way so that you can get the drop down hips to go forward like that, to go back about that far until it reaches extension and starts turning out, and all the way out. So luckily, she can do the full splits and almost the full Van Damme. Unfortunately, she doesn't really have the dexterity to stay all the way upward, but she can get the pose at least. She does have an upper thigh swivel as well as a double jointed knee. She has a upper boot cut and a down, up, and ankle pivot at the foot. So overall, okay articulation. I will say that I like the way this figure feels a hell of a lot more than Billy and Zach, because it is not as loose. So far, the two guys have had really bad wiggling, but this figure is solid to a T. I would hope so after how many releases that the Pink Mighty Morphin Ranger has gotten with the Lightning Collection line, and this one is no different. This one is perfectly updated from the original. That's it for the articulation. Let's get some other figures in here to compare him to. Freeze frame.
Right on time! I've had just about enough pepperoni and mushrooms today. We're here to toss your salad.
Freeze frame on freeze, and here is Kimberly next to our previous Power Rangers Lightning Collection review, Billy. Here she is next to her teammate Zach, who again is doing the wobble. And here she is next to a standard 6-inch action figure such as this Black Series Purge Trooper, who is, of course, a little bit shorter for a 6-inch action figure, as all Star Wars figures are, but you get the gist of it. Of course, you can see she's just a little bit shorter than the Purge Trooper, and of course she's shorter than both of her male teammates, which is accurate. That's it for the size comparison. Let's move on to my final thoughts so I can tell you exactly what I think about this figure. Freeze frame.
No one gets
gets inside our circle.
No one gets inside.
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 No one gets
No one
inside.
gets inside.
No one gets inside.
No one gets inside.
No one gets inside.
Free stream on freeze. So overall, I think I like the Pink Ranger remastered figure better than any of the remastered figures that I've looked at before this. Primarily based off of the QC issues that the other two figures had that I was able to look past. But this one has none that I can tell. And it's the most accurate to the character than any of the other ones have been. Even though the head sculpt is not 100% there, I'd say it's about 80% perhaps. This figure definitely knocks it out of the park. I like that Billy has his glasses and that makes him unique. I like that Zach has more that he can do with his weapon than any other figure. Kim, despite not having some sort of facial accessory for her civilian head, does have that feature doubly implemented on the power bow as well as the arrow, which just is the icing on the cake. The accuracy of the suit is perfect. It helps knowing the history behind the Pink Ranger in the Lightning Collection line and knowing that she was the most previously released figure and seeing that they finally got her right on this release makes me happy and for once proud of Hasbro. Of course, I'd be more proud if I didn't know that the line was canceled, but that's beside the point. I think this figure is worthy of the collection of any Kimberly fan. So if you like Kimberly, or you like Pink Rangers, you like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, you like Power Rangers in general, make sure you share this video with your friends, share it with the Facebook groups, all that good stuff. If you like the content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below. Keeps helping the channel grow, keeps helping me pump out this content. That's going to be pretty much it for this time, my friends. Thank you all so very much for watching, and as always, peace.